What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Drake Jackson, edge rusher out of USC. So he's 6'4", about 255 pounds, which is pretty much ideal size for an edge rusher, so that's nice. And he definitely has some athleticism to him. Has very active hands, I'll say, but they're not always targeted, and he doesn't always know what he's doing with them. To me, he's a very, very raw prospect, but with a lot of potential, just because of that athleticism. He doesn't really rush with much of a consistent plan whatsoever. It is a little bit better this year than last year, but he really doesn't have like a second move if the first one doesn't work. He mostly just relies on his athleticism to kind of get him into plays. USC has a big tendency to put him on the inside, which drives me insane. He is a clear edge rusher to me, and putting him on the inside just doesn't make any sense. To me, I think he would be best in a 3-4 scheme as a 3-4 outside linebacker. But don't hesitate if you're a 4-3 team to draft him and put him as your right end. Don't be worried about that. You'll have some growing pains. You definitely have to, kind of work with him as far as his technique goes. But I definitely think he's more of an edge rusher. He does swipe hands pretty decently, and he can pull down on the hands, but he needs to do it a little bit more consistent. And he also, like I said, he really needs to develop a second idea. If defeating those hands doesn't work, I need him to have a decent spin move or pull cloth or do something. He has to be able to have a second move in case that first one fails. And he doesn't really have the idea yet of setting people up. It's like, oh, well, I beat this guy to the outside 3 plays in a row, so let's go inside and see if I can smoke him that way. He hasn't really developed that yet. So hopefully we'll see him improve that a little bit. As far as the run game goes, he's pretty patient, which is nice, which is very different from his pass rush abilities because he's kind of all over the place pass rushing. He does seem to squeeze to the tackle sometimes when he's at an edge, but he doesn't do it consistently as I would like. Squeezing meaning, if you're familiar with my channel, you probably know the term. But in case, basically, when you squeeze really close up to the offensive tackle, that way you're cutting off any run lane to the outside. So, you're not just leaving a massive gap for the runner to go through. That's basically what squeezing means. He does have some pretty long arms as well, it seems like on film, and he uses that pretty decently, but I think he could utilize it a little bit better if he was better with his hands. He does have a little bit of a spin move developing, but I think he needs to really learn to implement that well. And he really shows flashes of someone who could be a great player, but he really needs to just work on his technique a little bit. And I think he could be really good. He does have a tendency to work himself out of play because he is a super high effort guy. He doesn't stop the whole play, which is something I do love. But because of that, he does have a tendency to work himself out of the play because he kind of plays like his hair is on fire. Just running nonstop. So, I do think he is definitely a raw but very talented player that USC is using wrong by making him play on the inside as much as they do. He is a clear edge rusher, in my opinion. I think he should be a 3-4 outside linebacker, like I said, because he definitely has the athleticism to do it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.